The Heartland Season 20 trailer just dropped and honestly, I wasn't ready for what they're showing us. After 19 seasons of watching this family hold everything together, the new footage is making it crystal clear that everything is about to change in ways we never expected. Amy's making choices that will reshape her entire future. Lou's stepping into a role that terrifies her. And there's a moment in this trailer that had me pausing and rewinding, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So let's break down every single detail from this trailer, because trust me, there's a lot more happening beneath the surface than you might think. The trailer opens with sweeping shots of Heartland Ranch at dawn, and immediately you can feel that something's different. The land looks the same, the barn stands where it always has, but there's this underlying tension in the way they're framing everything. And then we hear Amy's voice, and she's not talking about horses or training or any of the things we're used to hearing from her. She's talking about leaving. She says something along the lines of knowing when it's time to let go and start fresh. And the way she delivers that line made my heart sink a little, because this is Amy Fleming we're talking about. The girl who couldn't imagine life away from Heartland. The woman who rebuilt herself on that land after losing Ty. And now she's ready to walk away from it all. Cut to Amy and Nathan at what appears to be their new property, and you can see them standing together looking at an empty house that clearly needs a lot of work. Nathan has his arm around her and they're both smiling, but it's not just happiness on their faces. There's nervousness there too. Amy looks like she's trying to convince herself this is the right choice, and honestly, I felt that in my bones. The trailer makes it clear that Amy's wrestling with this decision throughout the early episodes. We see quick flashes of her at Heartland looking around like she's memorizing every corner. And then we see her at the new ranch trying to make it feel like home. It's going to be an emotional journey watching her navigate this transition. Then, the trailer shifts focus to Lou, and this is where things get really interesting. We see her in the Heartland office surrounded by paperwork, looking absolutely overwhelmed. There's a shot of her standing in the barn with her hands on her hips, staring at horses like they're a completely foreign species, which honestly made me laugh because Lou has never been the ranch operations person. That was always Amy and Jack's territory, but now she's being thrown into the deep end. And the trailer makes it very clear she's struggling. There's even a moment where she snaps at someone, probably Katie or one of the ranch hands, and immediately looks guilty about it. Lou's always been the businesswoman, the one who handled finances and logistics, but actually running the day-to-day ranch operations, that's a completely different challenge. And I have a feeling we're going to see her make some mistakes before she finds her footing. The most shocking part of the early trailer moments involves Jack, and I need you to pay attention to this because it changes everything. We see Jack sitting in his chair on the porch, which is normal enough. But then there's a shot of him with what looks like medical equipment nearby. The trailer doesn't spell it out directly, but the implication is there. Jack's health is declining. There's a scene where Lou and Amy are clearly having an emotional conversation about him, and you can see the fear in their eyes. Amy's crying and Lou's trying to hold it together, which tells me they're dealing with something serious. This explains so much about why the season is structured the way it is. Jack stepping back from the ranch isn't just about age or wanting to retire. Something's happening with his health that's forcing these changes. And that revelation hit me harder than I expected. Jack Bartlett has been the backbone of this show since day one, and the thought of Heartland without him feels impossible. But the trailer doesn't let us sit in that sadness for too long, because suddenly we're thrown into what appears to be wedding planning chaos. There are quick shots of Amy looking at dresses, Nathan talking to what might be a contractor or wedding planner, and Georgie appearing to help with something reception-related. The wedding is definitely happening this season, and from what the trailer shows, it's not going to be a small, intimate affair. It looks like the whole community is getting involved, which makes sense for Heartland. These people don't do anything halfway. What's interesting though is that Amy doesn't look entirely happy in some of these wedding planning shots. She looks stressed and distracted, like her mind is somewhere else entirely. I'm wondering if the reality of everything changing all at once is starting to overwhelm her, or if there's something else going on that the trailer isn't showing us. Yet, there's also this recurring visual throughout the trailer of Amy standing between two places. Literally, we see her standing on the property line between Heartland and what I assume is her new ranch with Nathan, and the symbolism isn't subtle. She's caught between her past and her future. Between the life she built with Ty and the life she's building with Nathan. Between being Jack's granddaughter at Heartland and being Nathan's partner in this new venture. Nathan gets a surprising amount of screen time in this trailer, and I think that's intentional. The show is really trying to make us fall completely in love with him. Before Amy makes her final choice to leave Heartland permanently, we see him working on the new ranch, building fences, repairing structures, doing all the hard physical labor that comes with starting fresh. But the most important scenes are the ones with Lindy. There's this beautiful moment where Nathan and Lindy are sitting on the porch steps of their new house and he's clearly talking to HBU. Here's where the trailer takes an unexpected turn. We see Katie and Dex, and they're not just background characters anymore. There are multiple scenes of them working together on the ranch, having what look like intense conversations and dealing with some kind of crisis involving horses. Katie appears to be taking on more responsibility at Heartland, which makes sense if Lou is overwhelmed with running everything and Amy is preparing to leave. But there's also obvious tension between Katie and Lou. We see them arguing about something, and Katie looks frustrated in a way that feels very familiar. It's the same frustration Amy used to have with Lou back in the early seasons when Lou didn't understand the horse side of things. History is repeating itself, and Katie is stepping into Amy's shoes whether she wants to or not. Dex seems to be the stabilizing force for Katie, which is interesting because their relationship dynamic appears to have shifted. They're not just dating anymore. They're partners in running this ranch, and the trailer suggests they're good at it. The spin-off rumors start making a lot more sense when you see how much focus Katie and Dex are getting in this trailer. They're being positioned as the next generation, the ones who will carry Heartland forward when Amy leaves and Jack can't be as involved. There's even a shot that mirrors the very first episode of Heartland, with Katie standing in front of the Heartland sign looking determined. If you've been watching this show since the beginning, that parallel will hit you right in the chest. It's like the show is telling us that one chapter is ending but another is beginning. And maybe that's not such a terrible thing. ***. Then we get to the Peter situation, and honestly, I didn't expect this. Peter shows up in several trailer scenes, and he's not just visiting the girls. He appears to be sticking around Hudson for an extended period. There's a scene where he and Lou are talking seriously about something, and the body language between them is complicated. They're not hostile, but they're not exactly friendly either. It's that weird space exes occupy when they share children and history, but have moved on with their lives, except the trailer hints that maybe Peter hasn't completely moved on. There's a shot of him watching Lou walk away, and the look on his face is pure regret. I'm not saying they're going to get back together, but I am saying the show is leaving that door slightly open. And I know that's going to drive some fans absolutely crazy. Lou's relationship with her new partner, if she even has one this season, is barely touched on in the trailer. We see her focused entirely on the ranch and her family, which makes me think her personal life is taking a backseat to everything else happening. And honestly, that makes sense. When you're trying to run a ranch you barely understand while your father's health is declining and your sister is moving away, romance probably isn't the top priority. But I do wonder if the show is setting up a Lou and Peter reunion down the line, especially if this really is the final season or close to it. Bringing things full circle like that would be very Heartland. The trailer also gives us glimpses of the secondary characters, who make Heartland feel like a real community. We see Tim, and he appears to be dealing with his own crisis. There are shots of him looking worried and having what seems like a heated discussion with someone off screen. Knowing Tim, he's probably gotten himself into some kind of mess that the family will have to help him navigate. We also see Georgie briefly, and she looks happy and settled, which is nice after watching her struggle for so long. Jade makes an appearance too, which surprised me because she hasn't been around much in recent seasons. Her presence suggests that everyone is coming back to Heartland for something big, probably Amy and Nathan's wedding. Speaking of the wedding, the trailer dedicates a surprising amount of time to it, but not in the way you'd expect. These aren't just happy preparation montages. There are shots of Amy looking conflicted while trying on her dress, of Nathan seeming worried about something, of Lou and Katie having what appears to be an emotional conversation about the wedding. The trailer is telling us that this wedding isn't going to be the simple, joyful celebration we might have hoped for. There's going to be drama, there's going to be doubt, and there's going to be at least one moment where we genuinely wonder if Amy is going to go through with it. That's classic Heartland though. They never make anything easy for these characters, and honestly, that's part of why we keep watching. The most intense part of the trailer focuses on a crisis that appears to dominate the middle of the season, and it involves both ranches. We see storm clouds gathering, animals getting agitated, and then there's this shot of Amy and Nathan trying to move horses to safety while Lou and Katie are doing the same thing at Heartland. Whatever this disaster is, it's big enough to threaten both properties, and it's forcing everyone to work together. There's genuine fear on everyone's faces, and we see Amy making split-second decisions that could have serious consequences. This is Amy at her best though, and the trailer makes it clear that even though she's preparing to leave Heartland, she's still the horse whisperer everyone depends on when things go wrong. Nathan is right there beside her, and you can see how. While they work together under pressure, they move like a team. Like they've been doing this together for years instead of just one season. But here's what really caught my attention. In the aftermath of whatever this crisis is, there's a scene where Amy is standing in the Heartland barn completely alone and she's crying. Not just a few tears, but really crying. She's looking around at everything like she's seeing it for the last time, and you can feel the weight of what she's giving up. This isn't just a building to her, this is where she fell in love with Ty, where she learned everything she knows about horses, where she became who she is. And she's choosing to walk away from it. The trailer is making us feel every bit of that loss right along with her. And I think that's going to be one of the most powerful emotional beats of the entire season. Amy's journey has always been about healing both horses and people. But now she has to figure out how to heal herself after making this massive life change. The trailer then shows us something completely unexpected. There's conflict brewing between Nathan and someone else, and from what I can tell, it might be related to the new ranch property. We see Nathan in what looks like a legal office or meeting room, and he's clearly angry about something. There are papers being thrown, raised voices, and then a shot of Amy looking worried while on the phone. My best guess is that purchasing the new ranch isn't going as smoothly as they hoped. Maybe there are issues with the property, or maybe someone else has a claim on it, or maybe the financing is falling through. Whatever it is, the trailer suggests that Nathan and Amy's dream of starting fresh together hits some serious roadblocks. And for a moment, it looks like everything might fall apart. This potential disaster with the new ranch property brings up an interesting question that the trailer seems to be asking. What if Amy can't leave Heartland after all? What if circumstances force her to stay? There's a scene where Jack is talking to Amy, and even though we can't hear what he's saying, you can tell it's important. He's holding her hand and looking at her with so much love and understanding, and Amy is nodding, but she also looks torn apart inside. I think Jack is telling her it's okay to leave, that she has his blessing. But I also think part of her is hoping he'll ask her to stay. That's the thing about big life changes. Sometimes we want someone to give us permission to back out, to choose the safe and familiar option instead of the scary unknown. Lou's storyline takes a darker turn in the middle portion of the trailer. And this is where we really see her struggling. There's a scene where she's alone in the barn at night and she just looks defeated. She's sitting on the floor with her head in her hands. And it's such a vulnerable moment for a character who always tries to appear strong and capable. Running Heartland is breaking her, and the trailer isn't shy about showing that. We also see her having what looks like a breakdown in front of Katie. And Katie is trying to comfort her mother but also looks scared. Lou has always been the one holding everyone else together. So seeing her fall apart is genuinely shocking, but it's also necessary. Lou needs to hit rock bottom before she can figure out how to actually run this ranch in a way that works for her instead of trying to be Amy or Jack. The relationship between Amy and Lou gets a lot of attention in this part of the trailer. And it's complicated. There are scenes of them arguing, scenes of them hugging, scenes of them working side by side in silence. The trailer is showing us that Amy's decision to leave affects Lou more than anyone else. And not just because Lou has to take over the ranch, it's because they're sisters. And despite all their differences and conflicts over the years, they've always had each other. Amy leaving means Lou is losing her best friend and her safety net. And the trailer makes that loss feel very real. There's one particularly heartbreaking shot of Lou watching Amy drive away from Heartland. And the expression on Lou's face is pure grief. Even though Amy isn't dying, even though she's only moving a short distance away, it feels like a death. In some ways, the Amy who lived at Heartland and defined herself by that place is gone. And Lou has to accept that. Katie's role becomes even more prominent in this section of the trailer. And we see her really stepping up. There's a sequence showing her taking charge of a situation at the ranch while Lou is absent. And she's making decisions quickly and confidently. ****, the ranch hands are listening to her. The horses respond to her, and for the first time, we see Katie truly embodying the Heartland legacy. But there's also a cost to this. We see her canceling plans with friends, looking exhausted, and having a tense conversation with Dex where she appears to be questioning if this is really what she wants for her life. Katie is at that age where she should be figuring out who she is and what she wants. But instead she's being pulled into running a ranch because her family needs her. The trailer is setting up a really interesting internal conflict for her character, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. Nathan gets this beautiful moment in the trailer where he's getting ready for the wedding and talking to Lindy about how much Amy means to both of them. You can see the genuine love and nervousness on his face. And it hit me that Nathan isn't just worried about the wedding going smoothly. He's worried that Amy might change her mind. He's worried that when it comes down to it, she won't be able to choose him over everything Heartland represents. And honestly, the trailer does nothing to reassure us that she definitely will. There are too many shots of Amy looking uncertain. Too many moments where she seems to be second-guessing herself. The wedding itself looks absolutely beautiful. From what the trailer shows us, everyone is there dressed up and smiling, the setting is gorgeous. And there's this shot of Amy walking down the aisle that should be purely happy, but instead feels bittersweet. Jack is the one walking her down the aisle, and that's when the trailer really got me. Jack looks so proud but also so sad, like he knows this is the moment everything changes forever. He's not just giving Amy away to Nathan, he's watching her leave the life they built together at Heartland, and you can see that weight in every step he takes. When they reach Nathan and Jack puts Amy's hand in his, there's this long moment where Jack and Amy just look at each other, and I guarantee you that scene is going to destroy everyone who watches it. Asterisk asterisk, but here's where the trailer throws us a curveball. Right after showing us these beautiful wedding moments, it cuts to what appears to be sometime later. We see Amy and Nathan at their new ranch. And it's transformed, the house is fixed up, the fences are new, there are horses in the pastures, and everything looks established and lived in. This is the time jump everyone has been talking about, and the trailer is confirming it's real. We see Amy working with a horse in a way that shows she's found her place in this new setting. She's not just surviving away from Heartland, she's thriving. Nathan is there too. And they're moving around each other with the easy comfort of a couple who has built a life together. Whatever doubts they had, whatever struggles they faced, they made it through. Then comes the moment that had me actually gasping out loud. The trailer shows Amy and Nathan at a hospital, and Nathan is holding a newborn baby. Amy is in the hospital bed looking exhausted but radiantly happy, and the way she's looking at that baby tells you everything you need to know. This is Amy's daughter or son, the child she's having with Nathan, and it represents the complete new beginning everyone has been working toward. The trailer lingers on this moment, showing us Jack meeting the baby, Lou crying happy tears, Katie holding her new niece or nephew, and suddenly everything that came before makes sense. All the pain of leaving Heartland, all the uncertainty about Nathan, all the fear about starting over, it was all leading to this. Amy is creating her own family, her own legacy. And while it looks different from what she had with Ty, it's beautiful in its own way, but the show isn't letting Amy completely disconnect from Heartland, and the trailer makes that clear too. We see shots of Amy visiting the ranch after the time jump, working with horses there, having coffee with Lou in the kitchen, sitting with Jack on the porch. She left Heartland as her home, but she didn't abandon it entirely. She's found a way to balance her new life with Nathan while still being part of the Heartland family, and honestly, that feels like the perfect resolution for her character. Amy doesn't have to choose one life or the other, she gets to have both, just in a different configuration than before. The trailer ends with a montage that feels like a goodbye, and I think that's exactly what it is. We see quick flashes of memorable Heartland locations, of characters we've loved for years, of horses and sunsets and everything that makes this show special. And then it cuts to Amy standing at the fence line of her new ranch, looking back toward where Heartland would be, and then turning to face her own property with a smile. The final shot is of the Heartland sign, the same one that's been there since episode 1, and the camera slowly pulls back as the sun sets behind it. If this really is the end of Amy's story on Heartland, this is how they're choosing to close that chapter, not with drama or tragedy, but with peace and the promise of new beginnings. What's interesting is what the trailer doesn't show us. We don't see much of Jack's health situation beyond those early hints, which makes me think that storyline is being saved for maximum emotional impact. We don't see resolution to some of the conflicts that are set up, particularly whatever is happening with the new ranch property and Nathan's legal troubles. And we don't see much of Katie and Dex's story beyond establishing that they're taking over Heartland responsibilities. The trailer is being strategic about what it reveals, giving us just enough to be excited but holding back the biggest moments for when we actually watch the season. After analyzing every frame of this trailer, I'm convinced season 20 is going to be one of the most emotional seasons Heartland has ever done. They're not just telling another story, they're bringing Amy's entire journey full circle while setting up the next generation to carry the legacy forward. Whether you're ready to say goodbye to Amy or not, this season is going to make you feel everything. For more breakdowns and updates on Heartland Season 20, make sure to like and follow. And if you want to dive deeper into what these trailer moments might mean for the characters, check out the video on your screen.